Hello, viruses. If you do not know me, my name is Iris, and this is my very first YouTube video. And if you can't tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be doing a get ready with me / get to know me. Just so you guys know way ahead of time, I'm horrible about talking about myself. That's just how I've always been. Whenever people ask me like a question about myself, I kind of freeze and I'm just like, and then I end up forgetting everything that I've ever known about myself. That's just how I am. So I went ahead and asked you guys to ask me a few questions on Instagram stories. So those are the questions I'm going to be getting into today. So without further ado, let's just jump into the video. This literally popped up overnight. And I got like a patch of pimples right here. But it's fine. We're fine. We're doing amazing. Anyways, so yeah, in case you guys didn't know, by the title, I am doing a get ready with me. This is dripping down my mouth. Anyways, so with that being said, I'm gonna have to answer a bunch of questions about myself when I am not the best when it comes to talking about me. I'm really awkward about it, and whenever people ask me questions about myself, I normally just kind of freeze and I'm just like, and then all of a sudden I forget everything about myself. So hopefully today that won't be the case. I honestly have no idea what I'm gonna be doing for a look today either. That's kind of my thing. I just kind of figure it out as I go, which is probably why my looks take me as long as they do, but whatever. And then once I finish moisturizing, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the first question I was asked. The very first question I was asked was, do you have a favorite tattoo? And yes, I absolutely do. My favorite tattoo is this one right here. It was my first tattoo and the most meaningful to me. So my grandfather passed away when I was fairly young, so that was sad, but he was kind of like the first father figure I had, and you know, family isn't always blood, is what I'm getting at. And on my 18th birthday, I was finally able to get a tattoo, obviously, and so after school, I went and got this bad boy drawn up, and the tattoo actually only took about an hour, funny enough. And then once I did finally see the tattoo, I actually like broke down in tears and started crying. And it's strategically placed right next to my heart. I know, cheesy, don't worry. It's the tattoo I obviously hold closest to my heart because it does genuinely mean the most to me. And out of all my tattoos, that one definitely is my favorite. Anyways, like I told you guys, I'm so bad about talking about myself. Just because for me, that's just, it's not me. It's just not. Quickly go ahead and carve out my brows and prime my lids so we can get into the eye look. So what I normally do is I'll take a more skin tone color. So I just start with that. And I know it's really yellow. I know. And and that's what I use to normally carve my brow. And then I take a really, really, really light concealer to prime my lid. I do this because I don't set my lid for whatever shadows I choose, which is normally obnoxiously bright colors will pop like alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my NYX shadow in shade STFU. And again, I don't set my lid, and I'm gonna start packing. I think I'm going for kind of like a halo eye. Probably not. Again, we'll just see. Anyway, so the next question I got was regarding the name I chose for my subscribers, my followers, and all that jazz, because it's a very interesting name. So I chose the name Viruses, and I know that sounds so weird to hear, but within the same story of my tattoo, my grandpa used to call me Iris the Virus. I know. Anyway, so he used to call me that because I was always sick, like always. There was just something wrong with me at all times. And I think it all started when I got hives. I think that's when that all started. Don't quote me on that. But it's something that I know normally has like a negative connotation with it, and honestly, I'm someone who's very carefree, I guess would be the word to use. But basically how I think of it is, don't get offended by the name, because it's not coming from a negative place. It's coming from my heart. So I hope you guys don't take it too hard. And so to me, it comes from like a happy place. So I hope nobody gets offended by that. And if you do, sorry. But yeah, so the name Iris the Virus, obviously, it's just something to take lightly. It ain't that deep. I'm going to the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to take the shade Hunts. So I'm going to take the shade Hunts. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. I really don't. So I got another question that was regarding my social name. I got another question regarding my makeup, like social media names and all that. This question actually made me laugh because I was like, wow, you're out here exposing me. Anyway, so if you guys don't know, my social media names are FullBeats.ByIris. This specific individual sent me a question saying, why is your social media names FullBeats.ByIris, but you normally only do one eye? Why you gotta call me out like that? Why you gotta call me out like that? You don't see me doing that to you? It's not fair. Anyways, I'm kidding. The reason why I normally just do one eye is because, frankly, I'm not the biggest fan of how complexion products look on my skin. And the reason I say that is I have extremely dry skin. But I also have a lot of fine lines, I have a lot of expression lines, I have all that jazz. So with that being said, it's really hard for my skin to look nice without creasing. because I normally have to like set or bake like my forehead, my smile lines, and under my eyes, but I have dry skin. So you can only imagine how that looks. And if you don't, you're lucky. You're lucky. But yeah. So normally if I don't like have to, I try to avoid complexion products as much as I possibly can, just because it can be really tedious to try to make them look really nice without complicating my skin. And then now that I have this so far, I now go in and do the other eye so that this eye won't crease. But you know, that person decided to just throw me under the bus. Rude. Anyways, I'm gonna quickly go ahead and match where I'm at with the other eye off camera. And I'll be right back. Alright, now that we've matched both eyes, kind of not really off camera, I'm gonna go ahead and continue with what I was doing and answering a few more questions. The next question I have is, what do you do outside of makeup? So, I don't really do much other than work, but hobby-wise, I actually dance. So I do contemporary jazz, and I was gonna say contemporary jazz and all that jazz. Anyway, so I do like jazz, modern, contemporary, and all of the above. And that's like all else I do like hobby-wise. I don't really have any other talents. So, yeah, I don't. I'm sorry, I'm like slouching down like this. It's because like when I'm in my mirror, I'm in it. And so like I'm trying to like remember to like turn my body so you guys can actually like see what I'm doing and see my face and all that. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go in with a separate brush that has no excess product on it. It's the Moda Pro crease brush. I'm just gonna go in and blend the edges together. And guys, honestly, makeup takes a lot of patience, like a lot. And in case you guys didn't know, I have fairly small like lid space. So if you ever notice that I'm like blending like to my brow, it's because I have to. It's that I really got no other choice because I got no other room. Alright, and the next question I have is, how did you get into makeup? Now listen, I don't have an interesting story for this, so sorry, I just don't. Like, it's weird to say that I kind of like forced myself into it, but I did. So in high school, I was in dance, obviously. So my junior year is when I had to start. Anyway, so in high school, I was in dance. So I kind of really had to force myself to learn my features and figure out what looked good from like stage angles, because let those lights hit you wrong. Ooh, honey. Anyways, yeah, so dance is why I got into makeup, and then I mostly did it in high school because I had to. And then right after I graduated high school, like on graduation night, is when I was like, this is actually kind of fun. This is a bop. Anyways, yeah, so right after high school is when I started really getting into makeup, and I was really only doing like neutrals, and that was it. Like, I did not touch anything else. I was afraid of color, I was afraid of black shadow, I was afraid of everything. And then it wasn't until more so recently that I started getting more into color and expanding a lot more, just because now I'm finding a genuine love for it beyond like, where am I going with that? Anyways, now I'm just kind of finding like a genuine connection to it. You know, I'm learning what I like, and it's fun. Like, I do like doing it now that I don't have to do it. I think that's what it was. And also, it's just really fun being creative beyond dance as well. So that's kind of how I got into makeup. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and finish my eyes off camera, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the complexion products and answer a few more questions. Someone asked me what my opinion is on the Beauty Blender shade range. I think that being such a big brand, you know, when you're wrong when you're wrong, you know? And that's just kind of the way I see it. You know when you're wrong, you know when you mess up. But what makes a difference is how you react. And I think when they release a shade range, or when Trend Mood released the shade range, how they just went extremely defensive, and they were just like, oh, there's a filter on the photo, there's this, there's that, you need to see it in person, you need this, you need that. And then everyone waited, and there's 50 Shades of Me. Like, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no going around it. Sorry, like, I don't even own a beauty blender. I own Real Technique sponges, and I have a Japanese sponge coming in the mail here soon. So I'm really excited about that. But anyways, I don't like how she advertised that she was mainly targeting Latinas, because me being Latina, I think we are pretty well covered. But here's the thing. Latinas come in various shades. We're not all I'm just saying. And also, like, what about our sisters with deeper complexion? Like, for example, Nima Tang. Were you guys thinking about her? I highly doubt that. But it's like, when you come out with the foundation, you need to go for everybody. It doesn't matter. I don't even know how to say that. It doesn't matter who you want to cater to more. It's simply like, be inclusive. Like, it's not that hard. It's really not. And to see such a big brand come out with 4 deep dark shades is so disappointing, because you have brands like NYX that are coming out with, well, I don't remember how many, like, their new foundation, I don't remember how many shades, but their shade range is bomb.com. And that was announced around the same time Beauty Blenders was announced. And NYX took the initiative to team up with Alyssa Ashley to, you know, incorporate shade range and be inclusive. And then, you know, with the Born This Way foundation, Too Faced decided to hit up Jackie. They decided to hit Jackie up and say, yo girl, we need some help. Help me. So I respect that. But, you know, Beauty Blender wasn't about that life, and just kind of stood up to her defense, as most people would do. But there's kind of a way to go about it, and then there's a way to not. And that was kind of the way to not go about it. Because you see the shade range and you see, like, when I saw the shade range and I saw a lot of the reviews, I literally could wear probably 20 of those. 20 of them and at least make them work. Here's the thing. But here's my thing. When you go and look to the quote-unquote deep dark shades, they're orange or gray. And then, you know, the whole point of her foundation was to focus on undertones. I don't see it. But it's like, I'm hoping that they take this and run with it and kind of make it better instead of trying to ignore the problem, you know? Anyways, yeah, so that's my opinion, I think. And then I have another question asking me how many tattoos I have. I only have 4. Yes, I said only. That's not a lot compared to what I want to get. And the majority of my tattoos are Disney themed except for one of them. And that is a parrot that I have for a family member. And then the second part of that question is, do I have any tattoos that I regret? I do not. I don't regret any of my tattoos. They all mean something to me. And I trust my artists that they won't do me wrong, you know? That's kind of like the most important thing with tattoos, is you need to trust your artist. That's kind of one of the most important things. Like, this is something that's going to be on you for the rest of your life. So you need to make sure that it's someone who's going to take care of it well. And one of the last questions that I have is, why has it taken you so long to finally start your YouTube channel? Frankly, it's because I'm a really nervous person. I get really nervous at, I don't know, I get really nervous really easily. And so that was a part of it, and then the other part of it was I just did not have the setup that I wanted, and I still don't. Frankly, I don't. But I knew that I wanted to start producing content as quick as I could, but still quality content. I never want to put out something that I am not genuinely proud of. And this is my first video, so I am going to be like, oh. Alright, so I have 2 last questions to answer for you guys, even though my makeup is completely done. I definitely could have answered these while I was doing it, but we don't need to talk about that. So the other question I was asked was, what single makeup items would you be and why? Alright, I'm gonna pick 3 items or products, and I'm gonna say brow gel, an eyelash curler, and highlighter, just because I feel like brows really shape a face, and I'm someone who I don't have a lot of brows, but I'm not lacking brows either. So, you know, if I was a brow gel, I would be so proud to shape somebody's face. I'd be like, look at me do my job, or whatever. And I'd be an eyelash curler, just because I think curled lashes look amazing on anybody. Like, no makeup, no matter what, I think curled lashes will always kind of like pull things together, especially when you're wearing like little to no makeup at all. Just having like simply like curled lashes, bless. And I'd be a highlighter, just because I live in a really hot state, so I'm just constantly like sweating. There's no going about that. I live in Arizona. I'm just always sweating. So just to make the sweat look a little cute, I'll put like highlighter like right here and like right here, my Cupid's bow, and then I'll just walk out the house. And like when the sun hits me just right, it's like BAM! And I'm like, ooh! Bless my soul. So the last question I have for you guys is, through dance, what feelings do you think you were more able to express? I would probably say anger and sadness. Just because I'm not someone who's really good with expressing emotions in the best way. Like, I'll either like cry it out or I just don't talk at all. That's kind of my thing. Like, I'll either just like cry all of my emotions out or I just keep them all to myself, which is really bad. But like when I do need to talk to someone, I do. Don't worry, I'm doing just fine. But through dance, it would definitely be anger and sadness, especially because when it comes to really intense dances, there's a lot of intense emotions I need to go into it. And so I definitely feel like that's where I kind of let those out. And when it comes to sadness, same thing. Just all my emotions just kind of flow out through there. More than anything, sadness and anger. Alright, you guys, this is the finished look. It's kind of one of my go-tos, I would say. So I always do, like, you know, this is my normal when I have something to do that I can't just look like a naked mole rat for. This is what I go for. Anyways, so that concludes the video today. And with that being said, thank you for watching my very first video, and hopefully you guys stick with me. And